and you're out there networking. Now, understand that timing is everything. When you are out there meeting people, you're expanding your list, you're expanding your network. I know when you first get started, until you make a list, that list is a never-ending list. Okay, they tell you start off with a name of 100 people, go through your phone book, Facebook yearbook. However, that list you're always going to be adding on because you're going to be meeting people. You're not friends with the same people you knew in elementary. And then when you went to middle school, you met more people. Then when you got to high school, you got new friends. And when you went to college, the same thing happened, right? That's what happens in life. You continue to elevate your circle. But as you're meeting people, understand that it's not about you and how well you're presenting to them or how well you pique them. It has to do everything with the timing in their lives. So as an example, if you meet somebody, and let's say that same guy in McDonald's, and you were to pique him, and he was to say, yeah, I don't make ends meet, but I just got a promotion today to being store manager, so I'm excited. If you try to say, hey, are you open to making extra money right then and there on the spot, he might, 9 times out of 10, he's not going to be open because he's in a promotion. He thinks he's good. But guess what? You'll follow up with him when you come back. You planted the seed, and now he remembers you because you actually had a conversation other than let me get a number one. Okay? So when it comes to timing, I want you to write these down. These are the different timings in the type of results. You can take the wrong action at the wrong time, and that equals disaster. So as an example, what is the wrong action at the wrong time? You're at a funeral, right? And you're asking somebody, do they want to make extra money? Hey, I know your grandma died, but you want to make some extra money? I got this call later on, Mr. Al Thomas. He's doing a private call for me. This guy's really successful. Like, that's the wrong action at the wrong time. Okay, that equals disaster. And what happens is, in that scenario, you just want to be a friend, console that person, okay? Then you have the right action at the wrong time, and that equals resistance. So let's say you're on the way to the airport and you find an Uber driver, you catch an Uber to the airport, and you're hearing him on the phone, or he's talking to you complaining about his gas or electric bill or his cell phone bill. And you're like, oh, let me sign you up for Flash right now. And you pull out your cell phone while he's driving and trying to tell him, hey, sign up right here, right now, right? You're taking the wrong action. You're taking the right action, but it's the wrong time. So he's going to resist. He's going to look at you like, hey, I'm trying to drive you to the airport and not get into a car accident. Okay? So right action, wrong time equals resistance. Then you have the wrong action at the right time is a mistake. What is the wrong action at the right time? Well, the wrong action at the right time is, let's say you're at the cleaners, you're picking up your clothes from the cleaners, and the business owner is thinking about, he's talking to you because you frequent there, like, yeah, man, ever since the pandemic, not that many people are wearing suits, so my business has took a hit. I just wish there was another way for me to make some extra money on the side and, just diversify while I continue to keep this business in the meantime. Just if I could make a few $100s or a few $1,000s a month just passively. I just wish there was a way I could work, just from my phone. And you're like, man, this is a great opportunity for me to get this guy as a customer and save him some money on his bills. See, that's the wrong action at the right time. That's a mistake. The guy is pouring his heart out to you, telling you he's looking a way to make extra money, but because you're afraid to ask him, because he's a business owner, you're afraid to ask him, does he look at other ways of making money or diversifying his income? You approach him as a customer. You take the easy route instead of showing him the business. That's a mistake. Now, you take the right action at the right time, that equals success. That same scenario, you pique that business owner. Hey, judging from our conversation, you told me that the business is slowing down because of the pandemic, and you were looking for other ways of making money. If I could show you a way to make money from your phone, keep your business at the same time, and make a few additional $100 to a few $1,000 part-time on bills that people have to pay every single day, would you be open to learning some more information about it? So that's the right action at the right time, and that'll equal success. Okay, so what happens is when you understand that it's all timing, you know when to strike, when not to strike, when to go full force and when to back off. Okay, now understand you will be bad, you'll be horrible before you're bad, and then you're going to be bad before you're good, and then you're going to be good before you're great, and then you're going to be great before you're Mr. Al Thomas. Okay, so this language is something that you learn and you practice over and over and over again. Repetition is the mother of learning and the father of skill. So you have to do it over and over again for you to become confident. Now, here's the secret. One thing that I learned a long time ago from Mr. Byron Nelson, Senior Vice President, he taught me this, and it made a huge difference in my business, and that is called enrollment conversations. How to enroll someone into a vision that you have them signing up before they even see the presentation. How many people would like to know how to do that, right? Like, hey, man, sign me up. I don't know what it is. You know how many people tell me, I've gotten so good at doing enrollment conversations that people tell me, look, I don't know what it is, but whatever you're doing, I want to do. I see you. I hear what you're talking about. I want to do it. I don't care if we have to sell toothpicks or Q-tips. I want to sign up. You have people eating from the palm of your hands. Napoleon Hill once said, pity the man that tries to do a sales pitch without massaging the mind of the prospect first. Pity the man that tries to do a sales pitch without massaging the mind of the prospect first. So that is what an enrollment conversation is, how to massage the mind of the prospect. And what I mean by that is, when you can describe someone's problem to them better than they can describe it themselves, they'll believe you have the solution for them and they'll throw money at you. So you want to get good at describing people's problems better than they can describe them better to you. And then you give them the solution. So when it comes to an enrollment conversation, I can take anybody and get them to ask me about ACN within a couple minutes, within 2 to 15 minutes tops. Whatever we're talking about, we could be talking about their pet hamster that died and they had to bury in the backyard. In some way, somehow, within 2 to 15 minutes, I will get them to be intrigued and asking me about ACN. And this is where you become a ninja, you become a master at communicating and having an enrollment conversation. So for those of you who taking notes, let's get ready, take some notes. I'm going to give you verbatim how I speak to someone. Then we can role play so we can, in a little bit, so we can actually do some real life scenarios, okay? So these are just a few questions that I actually like to ask people, and that generally get people on the wavelength, get them thinking exactly how you're thinking, okay? So let's say I'm talking to someone, I formed them, of course. You still want to always form family, occupation. Hey, hey, Bob, so tell me about yourself. I was introduced to you by Mr. Brad Kish. He told me that you're a construction worker. How long have you been doing that? Okay, great. Do you like it? What do you like? What do you dislike the most about it? And then they're going to tell you, oh, my boss, he's always on me, whatever the case. I work all these hours. It's hard labor. My back hurts all the time. Okay, so you're finding this out. I wish I could make more money and not have to physically work. I wish I could use my brain to work, because this guy's a construction worker, right? So now all you're doing is gathering data because you're asking the proper questions. Remember, good leaders ask great questions. So you want to get great at asking the right questions. Don't ask about if they're a construction worker in San Diego, hey, how's the weather in San Diego? That's not going to lead you to an enrollment conversation. You want to ask thought-provoking questions that are going to lead to asking about residual income and how people can make money from their phone and passive income from home. So back to this construction guy. But yeah, I'm tired of working. I've been doing this for over 10 years, back-breaking work. I don't make, I'm overworked and underpaid, whatever the case may be. Okay. So now from there, you're like, man, that's great. So you work for yourself. Are you married? Yeah, I'm married. I have 2 kids. Okay, what does your wife do? She's a stay-at-home mom. That's the thing. So I support the entire family. I'm the breadwinner. Now you're gathering information. You're just gathering information. Like, okay, great. Here's where the enrollment conversation happens. This is my transition. I say to him, Bob, let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about owning your own business? That's the first question I asked him. This is the first question from transitioning to forming to the enrollment conversation. Have you ever thought about owning your own business? And Bob is going to say one or two things. No, I have not. Or yes, I have. 9 times out of 10, most people have thought. They just don't have the courage. They don't have the financial capital. They don't know the how to. And I say to him, let's say he says, yes, I have. I say, what kind of business would you start, Bob? He would say, well, I once thought about opening up a cell phone store, but then I found out how much capital it took. And I was like, there's no way I could do that. Like, okay, how much capital would you need for that? Whatever business they say, yeah, I thought about opening up a salon. I thought about opening up a supermarket. I always ask them, okay, how much capital does it take to do that? And they're going to tell me, they either don't know because they haven't done their proper research, or they're going to say, oh man, a lot. It's like hundreds of thousands. They may have the figure or whatever. And then I asked them this. I said, let me ask you this, Bob. At the rate that you're going with your construction job, how long would it take you to raise those funds? You're like, it'll take me 20 years. It'll take me my entire life. It never fails, okay? It never fails. It's just going to take me forever. Wow, that's interesting. So at the rate you're going, it's going to take you forever. And it sometimes is an astronomical number, and sometimes it's something very minimal, like to raise $25,000, it'll take them 10 years. They'll tell you, oh, for me to raise $25,000 in capital to start my barbershop, it'll take me 10 years. And you're like, man, at the rate you're going, it's 10 years. So you say something to them, Bob, if I could show you a way where that'll help you raise that capital instead of 10 years, how about half the time? How about 5 years? Between 2 to 5 years. If there was a way that you could make additional income without interfering your schedule, would you be interested in learning more? So you hear the language. Everything is a transition. I take what they gave me, and then I throw it back at them. Okay, so whatever information they give me, I throw it back at them. They told me they wanted to start a business of 25 grand. Maybe it's their passion. Oh, I'm a construction worker, but I always wanted to own my own hair salon, my own cell phone store, whatever the case may be. That may be their passion. You don't want to steer them away from their passion. You're trying to help them, and ACN is the answer. Remember, ACN is water. They want a relationship. ACN, they want friendship, ACN is the answer. They want more money, ACN is the answer. They want to travel the world, ACN is the answer. They want to quit their job, fire their boss, ACN is the answer. They want to pay off student loan, they want to pay off credit card debt, ACN is the answer. Whatever it is, I will mold my enrollment conversation into that. Be like, oh, I'm in student loan debt. I've been looking for ways to make more money so I can pay that off. How much debt are you in? Oh, I'm $100,000 in debt. How long, at the rate that you're going, how long is it going to take for you to raise those funds? Oh, it's going to take me 10 years. What if I can help you pay off your student loan debt in half the time? Would you be interested? Oh, I want to start this business. It's always my passion. What if I can help you do that in half the time without interfering in your current schedule? Would you be interested? So this is the mindset, right? So in the back of my head, I know where I'm going, right? Like Mr. Al Thomas said, I'm writing a book. I already finished my book. It's in the process of being published. I wrote the last chapter first. So I know where I'm going. I know how I'm forming the entire story to the end, to the last chapter. That's how your end conversation, you're going to show them ACN. So you have to make sure you're a master at transitioning all the way up until that point. So back to the example with Bob. So he told me, yeah, I want to learn more. Yeah, you're going to show me how to start my own, how to come up with it, how to raise the capital to start my own business. How would I do it? And then this is back to the enrollment conversation. This is the next question I asked him. That's a great question, Bob. How I'm going to help you? Let me ask you this. If you could answer in one word, the most simplest answer, not deeper philosophical, why do most people work, Bob? One word. And guess what Bob's going to say? Well, most people are good. They work for money. And they're going to be, and you be like, exactly. 9 times out of 10, if they struggle, you just throw it at them. We're like, money, right? They're really like, oh, they work to pay their, some people might say pay their bills, but that's the second question. But the first question you ask, why do most people work, Bob? They're going to say to make money. Okay, Bob, great. Most people work to make money. And what do most people spend that money on? And then they're going to say, well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say to pay bills. But if they're like, well, to buy their wants and their needs or support their family, then you switch the word, you switch the language, and you say, what do most people complain about most of their checks going towards? And they're going to tell you, bills. And I'm like, stop right there, Bob. So we just agreed, right? Listen to the psychology behind this. We just agreed that most people work to make money to pay for bills. True or not true, Bob? Yes, that's right. Now we're here. We're best friends. Now you got Bob eating from the palm of your hand. And then you say, this is the last transitional word, the last transitional question for the enrollment conversation. You say, Bob, what if I could show you a way to make money, to start an online business that allows you to get paid when people pay their bills? Does that make business sense, Bob? Oh my God, of course, that's genius. Where do I sign up? How do I start? How much is it? I'll pay right now. You have no idea how many times I've done this and people sign up all over the world. Why do most people work? To make money. What do most people spend that money on? On bills. Okay, we just agreed that most people work to make money to pay their bills. What if I could show you a way? Remember the 4 most important words in network marketing? If I, would you, right? So what if I were to show you a way that you could start an online business that help you get paid when people pay their bills? Would you be interested in learning more? Oh my God, absolutely. Tell me, where do I sign up? What I got to do? What presentation do I have to watch? Great. Well, tomorrow night or Sunday night, Saturday night, I have a private call with a very successful gentleman. Then you go back to your script. You already enrolled them. You massage the brain. Now you're getting him on the private call with Mr. Al Thomas, or the PBZ with Mr. Julian Lewis, or Regional Vice President Brad Kish. He's doing a presentation, right? So whatever, that was the enrollment conversation. Now you go back to your regular script. Like, there's a private Zoom call tonight that's going to be actually be going over the overview of the global expansion. Well, actually, before that, you tell them, listen, you relate to them with your story. Look, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. I've actually started a business. I've been making money on hundreds of bills. I didn't even know this existed, or thousands of bills. I didn't even know this existed. But most importantly, I'm working with a gentleman named Mr. Al Thomas. He's very successful. He's helping a lot of people achieve financial relief and financial success, helping people get paid on bills and get their bills for free. If there's a private, if I can, right, there you go. Everyone has residual monthly bills. If there was a way I can show you how to get paid when people pay their bills, get you on this private call where a top vice president will be doing an overview of the global expansion. Could you clear 20 minutes of your schedule, Bob, for tomorrow night at 7:30? Oh, I'll just be getting home from work. Listen, Bob, this is really important. Can you clear your schedule without any distractions? Have a pen and paper. Everything you need to learn about how to get paid when people pay their bills will be explained on this call. Can you clear your schedule? Absolutely, I'll be on there. Listen, don't make me look bad, because I'm going to let Mr. Al Thomas know that you'll be on the call, and someone from his team might reach out to you and just confirm that you're going to be on the call. So I'll see you on there, Bob, and we'll touch bases after. He's already in before he saw the presentation. You edified Mr. Al Thomas or whoever the guest speaker may be for your presentation. His whole mind is racing while he's at work, shoveling or drilling, whatever he does at construction, because for the simple fact that you formed them and you did an enrollment conversation, and now his mind is racing throughout. He can't even concentrate at work because when he gets home, he's gonna have the solution for his problems. Everybody's problem. Remember, 70% of people they live paycheck to paycheck. Over 70% of people, so they're living to pay their bills. Okay, so with that being said, what happens is the presentation is going to happen. They're going to get off the call. You're going to follow up with them. And if the timing is right, they're going to sign up. And if the timing is right, but they don't know it yet, they're going to give you objections. Here's where you have to master to become a master as a leader. You need to master the objections. Over 70% of leaders and people in position of powers have never been taught how to handle objections. So you, as a leader or up-and-coming leader in ACN, you need to learn how to master the objections. Good thing is, there are only about 4 or 5 real objections you have to get good at handling. So if you know this, if I'm telling you this after 10 years, Mr. Al Thomas, after 20 years of being in the industry, he's telling you there's only 4 or 5 real objections that you have to get good at. There's not going to be a magical objection that's going to pop out of nowhere. So you just have to get good at it. And those objections being, oh, I don't have the time, or I have to pray about it, or I got to talk to my spouse. But ultimately, it all falls down to I don't have the money, right? And ultimately, I mean, $199, if that's a challenge for them, that may or may not be the ideal prospect for you. Okay, so with that being said, what I would like to do now, let's see how we're looking on time. Perfect. What I would like to do is I want to go ahead and answer some questions, and it may be an objection that you may seem to be facing all the time. I'm going to show you how to handle that objection right here, live and in direct in person. So if you're in the chat or you want to unmute yourself, I don't know how we want to do this. Let's see. Yeah, type it in the chat or unmute yourself, raise your hand, whatever the case may be. And I hope this has been very informative to you, because I know a lot of people, they're always asking how to. Everybody wants to speak about the mindset motivation, but this is a small percentage that will make a big major difference in your business. So does anybody have any questions about how to handle any objection after you do the enrollment and they see the presentation?
Mr. Carmona, this is Julian in San Diego. Hey.
How's it going, Julian?
Listen, that was incredible. It was slow enough to really get it. I wanted to see if you could address something, because when you're talking to them in the beginning, that's an extremely important part that leads you into being able to start your enrollment questions, right? And so could you express, or could you share how important it is when you're asking them what they do, how important it is to ask what they like about their job before you go into what they don't like, and why that's important?
That's a good question. I'm trying to see which aspect you're asking, because I was taught growing up in this business to go straight for the what do you dislike the most. But you want to be genuine. You know, you want to say what you like about it, because you want to collect data. The more data that you do have, the better it is. So you want to basically, once they tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly from their occupation, you want to amplify them. Look, I love my friends. I love working with people in construction, but I just hate that I'm underpaid. So now you have enough data to say, what if you could still work with people, but work from home and make more money passively using your brain without breaking your back, as an example. Is that what you mean,
Yeah,
Julian?
you got it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I flipped it, but yes, absolutely. I appreciate it.
For sure, so there you have it. You want to gather as much data and let them know, look, you can have more of this. Or some people will tell you, look, I made great job at my money, but my coworkers suck. What if you could make that same level of money, but passively without having to deal with those same coworkers, right? So you grab the good, bad, and the ugly. So I hope that helped answer that. Let's see. Some people are in the chat. Let's see. When people say they pay less with the service they have, that's the question. So this is the thing. We offer free bills. There's a possibility that you can get bills for free. When people tell me, oh, I pay less, I'll be like, really? You pay less than $3.99? Like, we can offer for free. And then I explain to them, listen, if you can be your own customer, how are you expecting to get other people as customers? You have to lead by example. Don't step over dollars to pick up dimes. That, you have to have a mindset enrollment conversation at that point. That's where making the shift comes in. And that's an audio, actually, by the way, by Darren Hardy, Making the Shift. Always get people on that. As soon as they get started, if they've been an employee their entire lives, understand they're going to have to be trained to have a mental shift from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And that way they can understand they have to invest in themselves. So I hope that answered that question. Let's see. This has been vital for any new or old member of our organization. God bless you for spreading knowledge. Thank you very much. Someone I spoke with asked, why does ANC, right, ACN, want people to switch to their preferred networks? That's a great question, because when we own the actual entity, we can pay higher commissions. That's why. Simple as that. When we're partners, then the revenue obviously is lesser when it comes to the residual income. Okay, so let's see. Next question. What aspect of the business has attracted the most business partners? What aspect of the business has attracted? My mentor taught me that people want to see a testimonial. They don't want to hear one. You could tell people, oh yeah, this business is great. Oh yeah, you could get your bills for free. Oh yeah, we can feed kids. Oh yeah, you can make residual income. Oh, I'm going to retire my job. But until people see you doing it, they're not gonna gravitate towards you. You want to be the example. People see where I came from 10 years ago. I used to have, I have braces now. I had gold teeth in my mouth. My pants used to sag. Now I wear custom tailored suits. I was practically homeless, sleeping on a couch when I got started. Now I have a condo in Canada and in Cleveland, Ohio, right? I'm moving to Miami. I travel the world. I speak differently than what I used to. I used to post on my Facebook over 10 years ago, nothing but rap lyrics from hardcore rap that I used to listen to. Today, I post motivational quotes all the time. Like, people want to see you. They want to see the testimonial. Sometimes they don't want to hear about the people in the magazine. They don't want to hear about the people in the magazine or the founders. They want to see you, somebody that they know. So just be that person. Do everything in your power to transform your life. Okay, so some people are raising their hands. If we want to unmute them, let's see.
I think Sergio had a question.
You hear me?
Sergio. Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. This is Sergio from Central Mexico by way of California. This is great stuff, Angel. I really appreciate it. My question is about an objection, managing an objection. I wrote it in the chat really quick. It refers to like recruiting up. So say you're piquing someone who's already successful, you're piquing their interest, and they said, you know what, I'm not interested in making more money right now. I'm doing very well in what in my business or what I do currently. I'm not interested. How would you manage that objection?
That's a great point. I know a lot of people encounter that. So two things. I went to a headquarter event one day with president and founder, Mr. Greg Provenzano, and he actually showed us how he would peak Bill Gates. He was like, if I was in the room with Bill Gates, you want to see me peak Bill Gates? And it was phenomenal how he did it. And that's what he said. He said, hey, Bill, I know you don't need any money, but I know you're tired of people asking you for handouts. Why wouldn't it be of justice if you saw what I was working on? I know it's not for you, but you may know somebody it may be for. That way, they could stop asking you for money. Simple as that. You took the pressure off him. Hey, look, listen, man, I know you're successful. You don't need any more money, but maybe this may be for someone and you could refer me to them. You start off with that. Hey, man, look, you're one of the most successful people I know. Obviously, you could always ask the opinion approach. I don't know if you know that. That's old school. Hey, I know you're successful. I'm actually working on a business project, and I would love your opinion on it. I know you don't need any more money, but you ask for the opinion approach. But once again, be like, once they see it, if they say, look, I'm doing great. Look, perfect. Keep me up to date with your success. Let's stay in contact. And if you, by any chance, you run across somebody that they can benefit from this, they have a strong work ethic, they just need the right vehicle, hey, throw them my way. They'll thank you for the rest of your life, for the rest of their life. I say that confidently. Be like, look, if you throw somebody my way, they're going to thank you for the rest of their life. Trust me. And, a lot of people that are successful, they cannot duplicate that success through someone else. But in ACN, you can. Mr. Al Thomas can grab someone that is coachable, willing, and have the work ethic and take them all the way to senior vice president, as long as they're committed to following the system. But a person that owns a conglomerate of businesses, they cannot do that with the average person. But in this business, you can. So I hope that answered your question, Sergio.
I'm going to chime in a little. I'm going to chime in. I'll give an example. I have a friend of mine who's very successful. He's too good to do network marketing. And I said, who do you know that this would fit for? Just like what Mr. Angel just said. And he gave me a guy in Dallas, Texas named Lee Lemon. Lee Lemon was frontline to me. He put, oh my God, several thousand people, one of my biggest legs, one of my previous company in my organization. Because he was it wasn't for him. So I asked for referrals. I know this may not be for you, but who do you know? And Lee Lemon's, first time I went to Dallas, did a meeting, there's over 350 people in the room.
Wow.
But like Mr. Carmona said, it's just asking for the referrals. This may not be for you, but who do you know?
Right, there you go. And, practice makes improvement. So you're just going to practice it over and over. You're going to keep getting better. Let's see, what aspect of the business attract? Okay, I already handled things. I think we have the most unique business team in the world. Yes, we do. I'm not interested in making more money now. I'm doing really well. That was Sergio. Next question is from Mrs. TJ. Mrs. TJ, let's unmute her. She has a question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Carmona, for all this valuable information, and Mr. Thomas for allowing you to be here. My question is, recently I purchased a laptop and had to have tech support help me out with it. Well, I engaged the tech support person with conversation, and he was sharing with me how he missed an opportunity with Bitcoin, and he was going into how his girlfriend saves money. When she goes to the grocery store, she almost doesn't have to pay anything because she's a coupon clipper, et cetera, et cetera. And I piqued him and asked him if he was open to finding out about making additional money, et cetera. He gave me his Micro Center email, not his direct one. I would like to get, to him as well as his girlfriend, who's the one who seems to really be open to finding other ways of keeping money as well as making money. Any ideas on how to proceed with this particular, it's not really an objection, but a path to success?
So this is I'm glad you asked this question, because I encounter it a lot. I have encountered it a lot throughout my career. A lot of people ask me, what do you do when people give you their email? I was taught, treat this business and peaking like dating. When you're dating someone, he said, Angel, if you approach a girl and you ask her out and she says, hey, I'll give you my email, how interested is she? She's not that interested. So you treat it as that. Count it as a number and keep it moving. So you send them the information like, hey, like, hey, here's the information. You send them the video. Some people, you just have to be blunt and just send them the video. And if they bite, they bite. If not, keep it moving. But treat this business like dating. If someone's truly interested, they're going to give you their number. They're going to hop on a Zoom call and they're going to show their face on camera. They're going to be punctual. Like, these are different, basically characteristics of success that you can see. I know they say we don't prejudge people, but after a while, when you have experience in this business, you can tell right away who's a winner, who's not, who's going to make it and who's not. My mentor said, don't listen to what people say, don't watch their actions, but pay attention to their patterns. I remember on a call I got on with Mr. Al Thomas. He was talking about somebody from his neighborhood. He kept saying, oh, I'm going to get on this call. I'm going to get on this call. And the guy just kept flaking him. And then one day he said, hey, I'm going to get on this call. And Mr. Al Thomas responded to him, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not who you thought you were. Simple as that, right? So it's like he saw the pattern. So when people give you their email, how interested are they? And then if it's because they're at work and they don't want to get in trouble. Yeah. I mean, that's an outside circumstance that you cannot control, right?
Right. And that's what it was. He gave me his email at work and he was a little uncomfortable because he was at work. So no worries. I thank you for what you shared, and I think I'll find my path. Thank you, sir.
For sure. And last thing is, one thing, sometimes when you're forming and enrolling people, well, mostly forming people, it may not come up that you can peek right on the spot. What I love to do is say, hey, let's exchange social media information and then take it from there. Now they're seeing who you are. They're seeing how positive you are. You're hanging around with successful people. So be like, hey, email him. Hey, let's connect on social media so we can continue our conversation. Here's my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, whatever the case may be. And then you take the conversation from social media to eventually a Zoom call and phone.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So let's see here. That was Ms. TJ. Claudene, I spent 2 weeks working a deal, but his brother was his interpreter, and I told him about some meds that would help him. He took it and was able to come to work. But when he called me, I guess, to come and present, he talked it down to his brother, and that save that did not need the service. I had spent so much time waiting on him to come to work. Okay, so I'm guessing, I don't know if this is an objection, but this is a scenario. So what happens is, I've said this before on the call and I'll say it again, 90% of what you do in this business will be a waste of your time. But it's the 10% that's going to make you rich. It's going to make you residual income. It's going to make you wealthy. It's going to make you passive income. It's going to promote you to different positions. So recovery time, I talk about this in my book, right, that I'm coming out with, how to take the discipline from being an athlete and apply it to business. In boxing, when you get hit, you got to recover fast and don't let somebody see that you're hit. You got to keep being the example. So Claudene, keep it moving. Be like, you don't need the service. You're paying for these bills. All right. You're going to continue to pay for these bills forever. There's people that I showed the business to 10 years ago and I spent so much time and they still haven't signed up. Guess what? When they come to me 10 years later, hey, yeah, you're still doing that thing? Yep, I'm still doing that thing. You still paying for bills? Of course you're paying for bills, right? They're not going to stop. So you keep being by example. You just make sure that you quit. Remember, there's outside circumstances we can't control. So put zero time, energy, and effort into that. Then there's things that we can control. What can we control? Our language, our success, how polished we are with our language. People seeing that we're successful and we're being the testimonial in transitioning in our lives. So don't hold on to that. Keep it moving. He's going to keep watching you. How does a person, Mr. Brian Baker, how does a person with multiple businesses or jobs and a busy life add ACN to their hectic schedule with already having a full plate? Look, I tell people, I learned this from one of my friends in the business before. He said, look, if you have a full plate, you better make some space for some filet mignon, right? So this is creme de la creme, top notch. Like you just gotta edify and elevate, and that's why these are crucial conversations, right? Because these are real life scenarios. So when that comes up, people say, look, I have so much going on. Once again, timing. Be like, hey, let's stay in touch. When is it okay for me to follow up with you? 30 days from now, 60 days from now? I'll follow up, see how everything's going 90 days. People change. You know, the average person in America stays at a job for 1 year and a half. 1 year and a half. But most, I think, is 90% of people in network marketing quit within their first year. So if you could just stay in network marketing for longer than a year, most people will switch jobs. The jobs that they were too busy to hop on a Zoom or go to a meeting for, they're going to quit that job and go somewhere else. But if you stay, they're going to watch you and they're eventually going to come back. So, hey, sometimes, once again, it falls back to timing. If the timing is not right for them, just stay connected. Don't completely cut them out of your life. If someone says, no, the timing's off right now, just stay connected. One day they'll be your customer, and then one day eventually they'll be your customer. I know Mr. Shane Douglas, Senior Vice President, Circle of Champions, one of the highest money earners in network marketing industry. He said he's been following up with people for over 20 years, just following up, trying to get them in. He follows up with like over 1,000 people every single month. So that's that. Add them to your FU list, your follow-up list. All right, everyone. Everyone's able to unmute if you want. Yeah, Mr. Jabri Clemens, if you want to mute yourself, he says you can unmute yourself instead of typing in the chat, so I don't have to read it. So let's go back to unmuting. Anybody who wants to ask a question before I continue to read? All right, so I'll continue to read the questions. I am new. This is Maureen. Just having a hard time inviting people. Will be 30 days on the 12th of May. Okay, so Maureen, if you are having a hard time inviting people, understand two things. First of all, it may be something, a word that you're using, a simple tweak that you may need in your pitch that may make all the difference. And secondly, if you want to mute yourself, ask me how you're inviting me, and I'll see if I can help you polish your invite. Now, the second thing is, understand this: before we attract who we are, but before we attract who we are, we attract who we were. So if you had a hard time getting recruited into ACN, that means all your friends in your circle are stubborn 9 times out of 10, and they don't want to hop on a call too. So, Maureen, do you want to unmute yourself and try to invite me? See how you're inviting me. Let's see how we can work together and help you polish your invite.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty new, and May 12th is going to be 30 days since I got enrolled, and I haven't been able to recruit anyone. I got really close, but it didn't happen. So like you said, maybe it's my choice of words. So
how are you inviting? Through text or through talking on the phone?
No, I've basically been doing it over the phone.
How long are your peaks?
Come again?
How long are you talking to them on the phone when you're peaking them?
Well, most of the people I've tried to enroll are like close friends. So when we start a conversation, we kind of go into other things before we finally come to it. But what I basically say is that because most of my friends know I've been homebound because of my health for quite some time now. So I tell them that I found out a way to make money from home. I found out a way, of making money at home from other people paying their bills. Yeah, so that's
okay.
Like, yeah. And then I remember. I remember one person asked me, like, why does ACN want people to switch providers once you get in?
Okay, so this is the thing, Maureen. Sometimes at the end of the day, you have to bottom line people. If they're your close friends and family, as you say they are, people you talk to all the time, you bottom line them. You know, when I started, it was $500 to sign up. I went to my two brothers. I said, yo, get $500. We're starting this business. They didn't ask me any questions. So it's going to come to a point in your career right now, it's crunch time. You're going to have to say, listen, you're making me look bad. Am I a good enough friend to you that I can borrow 20 minutes of your time to get on this call? I just need 20 minutes. That's it. Get on the call and stop BSing around. That's simple. You bottom line people. Okay? And okay. And then when people ask you a question like that, or like why people have to switch their service once they get in, be like, listen, that's a good question, but we find out once we're in. Once we're in, right, we find out why we need to do that. Because just know that there's people making thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month by people paying their bills. So I know if somebody else did it, they didn't have that question and they made it, so we can make it happen. That's an irrelevant question. So you just have to have posture. Through this entire thing that I just trained, for the enrollment conversation to the forming, through the handling objection, it doesn't matter if you know the how to, if you don't know, if you don't have the right posture and energy when the words are coming out of your mouth. You have to have posture. You have to have confidence, okay? So that's where the practice in doing things over and over again comes in handy.
Okay. So do you think, is it an option to invite through texting?
It is if you already, like, we're in a brand new world now. So if there's an option, the problem with texting is that there's too much of a gap. Right. You give people, hey, do you want to make money? And they'll reply tomorrow or later on tonight. Yes. Be like, okay, there's a call. Can you get on tonight at 7:30? Then they'll respond at 10:30 at night. Oh, sorry, I was watching TV. That's the problem with texting. So it's a long shot. I like to get people on the phone. Hey, I need to talk to you. When do you got 2 minutes to talk? I'm in between meetings, or I'm about to go to a doctor's appointment. I need 2 minutes to talk. So when you do text, just ask them, hey, when do you have a second to talk? It's that simple. All right. Okay. I hope that helped, Maureen.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
You're welcome.
I'm going to jump in, Al Thomas. Let me ask you a question, dear. What's more powerful for you to respond to, a call or B, a text? What's more powerful?
Well, so when I'm at work, I can't respond.
No, what's more powerful? When somebody calls you, is it more personable, or a text? Which one do you think is more effective?
Texting.
Wow, okay.
Texting.
All right, back to you, Mr. Carmona.
Okay, so I have an anonymous question here. But the push I get is, how come you've been in the business so long but only have achieved ETL? Why are you successful? How much money do you even make? Okay, so this is an anonymous question, and basically that's a great question because a lot of people do that. First of all, there's different angles to approach this. It depends who that question is coming from. If it's a close friend, I will tell them, because of you, people like you always being skeptical, not joining me, that's why it's taking me so long, okay? And then that's that. Second of all, go out there and make sure that you do succeed with, and I said this on my RVP speech, sometimes your friends and family won't support you until they see strangers celebrating you, okay? Sometimes your friends and family won't support you until they see strangers celebrating you. So you're gonna have to go outside of your warm market. It's called your warm market for a reason. You're just warming up. That's just your practice squad. You're practicing your pitch on them so you could go out there and recruit other people. The people that are gonna help you become successful in this business, you haven't even met yet. Not over 90% of people in my business, probably 99%, I didn't know prior to ACN, but they led me through who you know, tap rooting. So how much money do you even make? You could always state the obvious. When you're inviting people and they know you, state the obvious. Hey, listen, I know I've been in this business for a long time, but they just made a crazy announcement with IDCO, or they made some crazy enhancement with the compensation plan. I was playing with this business before, but I'm dead serious now. So you stated the obvious, you was upfront, and you told them the problem. They were like, look, I know I'm not making as much money as I potentially could, but I'm done playing with this. I'm about to take this to the next level. I want you to partner up with me. You have posture, you have conviction, people will follow you. People in the beginning used to ask me how much money I was making. Now people don't even ask. They just see how how confident I speak, how polished I am when I speak. They see how I dress. People don't even ask me to see a check anymore. Okay, so I hope that helped. And let's see. Great point when you said they need to show how ACN has changed me. Yep. Edmund Smith, I miss Maureen calling by herself. Is Miss Maureen calling by herself? Oh yeah, no, well, anybody can unmute themselves and ask a question. So that was the end of the question. So does anybody else have a question before we wrap up the call? You can unmute yourself, speak now, forever hold your peace. I hope that that enrollment conversation and my train of thought and the way I speak, the posture, that language, I hope that it has an effect on your business. Does anybody have any other question before we wrap the call? Tomorrow, my wife will be speaking on the call, so make sure you show her some love, show some, have your questions ready, prepared. You know, from a woman's perspective, a regional vice president, she's been in a little under 10 years, but she's a phenomenal leader in this business, in the industry, a mompreneur. Please explain the business to me. What, Sergio? Well, that's an objection you're getting for people? Okay, so people, when you're piquing them, you ask them to explain. This is where you like to do false time constraint. When you're piquing them, be like, listen, it was great talking to you, Sergio, but judging from our conversation, you told me you needed another way to make money outside of your job. If there's a way I can show you how to make money on bills, would you be open to listen to? Be like, yeah, tell me about it right now. Look, it's great. I don't have time right now. I have to go. I have a meeting to attend. I have a private call with Mr. Al Thomas, who's a top successful senior vice president, multi-millionaire, whatever the case may be, however you edify or whoever your upline is, right? You say, I got to go right now. So you never want to peak and present on the same day, ideally. Never want to peak, present the same day. So you enroll one day and then get them on the next call. Be like, I would love to present to you right now, but I'm brand new. I would love to present to you right now. However, I don't have the time. I have to go. I have another meeting. My schedule is packed. And it doesn't have to be your schedule packed with ACN meetings. You have a doctor's appointment. You have to go shopping. You have family time to do. Just always create false time constraint, which is basically the fact of the matter that you're always busy. You always got to go. Okay? So I hope that helped. And then I saw somebody put in the chat, how do you prospect people that are working for the same industry we have in ACN? So the other day I had a call with one of my prospects. The guy worked for AT&T. He said, man, I sell AT&T cell phone night and day. And the guy was from the Chicago marketplace. He said, I'm a store manager. I sell AT&T cell phones and AT&T TV. But people ask me all the time about Vivint and home security and electricity and gas. I say, yeah, man, you know how much money you're leaving on the table? People don't only just have a cell phone. People don't only just watch TV. People have electric, gas. They're like, you know, so whatever industry, if people only sell Vivint, obviously you don't want to try to recruit with the Vivint rep that works for ACN because then you can get in trouble and stuff. But as an example, if you see somebody that's door-to-door knocking, selling Dish TV or Direct TV, whatever the case may be like, hey, there's more money you can make. Once people sign up for one of your services, they're going to trust you as the expert in all services so you can get people on other services. It's that simple. And remember, it's not about them. It's about who they know. At the end of the day, you got to taproot instantly.